Hi, my name is Jessica Mitchell. I am the founder of Ezra's Hands, a nonprofit in Orange County that works with kinship families. I'd like to introduce you to a family that we've partnered with for a few years, Will and Sally Kim. Their story is a perfect example of how Ezra's Hands can support our kinship families.
Hi, I'm Sally,
I'm Will,
and we're the Kims.
the Kims. We have 4 kids: Floyd, Scout, Tennessee, and a newborn, Cedar.
And Floyd is my biological half-brother. When I was 22, I was fresh out of college. I had just graduated college about 3 months prior, and I got a dreaded 3 a.m. phone call telling me that my grandfather and my brother were in an accident and I needed to get to the hospital right away. And found out my grandfather had been killed on impact and that my brother was going to be coming home with me in my custody. My mom is and was a schizophrenic alcoholic, among some other undiagnosed things, very abusive, but I just always thought she was only abusive towards me. And when the accident happened, we had found out that my brother and grandfather had been frequently sleeping in a cul-de-sac in the car to get away from her abuse. And from there is when I found out how dire of a situation that not only was I brought up in and left at 16, but that my now younger brothers were being brought up into. Social services got involved, and I was pulled into this crazy mess of a world of foster care and kinship care, and told at 22, a single, a woman with dreams. I had dreams of going to get my master's, of doing humanitarian work.
Maybe going to India.
Yeah, I thought I was going to travel the world, and ended up getting custody of my 2, 7, and 12-year-old brother overnight, with very little support of my own. I had an amazing church community, and really the church is what took me in when I was 16 and raised me to be the person that I was and am today. But as far as parental support, I did not have that. After maybe a few months or a year of having the boys, again single, I hadn't met Will yet, I was introduced to Jessica Mitchell of Ezra's Hands through a mentor of mine. She kept telling me, I need you to meet my friend, I need you to meet my friend, and eventually we connected, and really it's been a support and a friendship since. The first encounter I had with Ezra's Hands specifically, you weren't there yet, I don't think.
No, I was, I think, the second Christmas.
Yeah, so my first Christmas with the boys, because our story felt so big, a lot of people wanted to be involved. But the thing that happens with these big stories, like these, newsworthy stories of sad situations, people want to rush in and be there, and then they kind of dwindle off very fast, or they want to be there in only certain ways that they want to be a part of the story. Well, Ezra's Hands was the first organization and first person that said, I want to not just love on these children that you're taking care of, but I want to love you well too. So for Christmas, I'll never forget, she was the only organization that had asked, like, what do I want for Christmas too? And for me to even think about myself in that period was like, I guess a coffee maker. Like, I guess I need a coffee maker now because I have a house, which I never thought, I never thought I was going to be in that situation, obviously. And I'll never forget Christmas morning watching all my brothers open gifts that in previous years they probably never had access to either. And then for me to open up new kitchenware, and a beautiful coffee maker, and pots and pans and spoons and spatulas, and really a kickstart into this new life of motherhood that I was stepping into. From there, Jessica and Ezra's Hands has just always been this pillar of support for me specifically. I know that I can always text Jessica if one of our kids is having a meltdown or a hard season. She's the first person I go to, and there's no judgment. There's no sense of, well, you should have it together now, that we have gotten from other places. When Will and I started dating, we knew that our situation was very different from most people's stories with dating, and Jessica helped us get premarital counseling, and as soon as we were engaged, and any therapy we've needed for the boys. And for Ezra's Hands specifically, the way that I would describe it is she's not the mother I never had, because she's not motherly towards me specifically. She's very much a friend. But Ezra's Hands, the foundation, the way I describe it to Will is the foundation itself is the parent I never had, where I know I can always ask for something and feel safe hearing the word no. If there's something that I'm like, we need this and I'm stressed and la la la, Jessica is always my first go-to to ask, like, can you help? And even if it's a no, it's a safe no, and it's I can't do that, but I can do this. And she kind of helps bring me she helps to bring me back to earth in times where I'm like, which is very common with 5 to 7 kids at a time.
Yeah. So Ezra's Hands has been in our lives since the beginning.
Yeah.
Even when we were dating, I got the opportunity to see what Christmas was like. Their second Christmas all together. It was quite magical. Jessica has really helped us in all aspects, like you said, therapy, from helping us repair cars, car needs, to just sometimes I think when Sally and I are just at our end, the house is just thrashed, and so I remember just getting help with house cleaners, and so even that, it was just not just spiritually, not just physically, but just in all aspects of our lives. Ezra's Hands has really been involved, and has been a safe place for us. We recommend Ezra's Hands to all kinship families.
Yes.
It's one of the first things we
Everywhere
talk
we go.
about. Have you heard of Ezra's Hands? Well, you got to meet them. And so it's been a blessing. The most consistent of any organization, any community that we have ever been a part of.
I would say what sets Ezra's Hands apart is the holistic approach.
Yeah.
The way that the foundation is set up is they care for the whole family and the whole person, and really Ezra's Hands is the one organization, the one person that has seen our family holistically, when a lot just see the kids. And it's so important. Like, if the kids were just taken care of, we'd be satisfied. But she, the founder of Ezra's Hands, has really just taken the whole family, and I know she does this with all of her clients, and she's wanted to set up the family for success. How do we set up this family for success? How do we make sure these kids are taken care of? And if the parents are taken care of, the kids are taken care of. So we've always felt really valued as a family, when that's not necessarily how a lot of organizations approach something so messy like kinship. I would say the other thing that sets Ezra's Hands apart is the long haul mindset. We've had many mentors come and go. We've moved churches because my husband works for churches, and we've had people that have left our lives because of leaving churches, and people that were just called to be in our lives for a season. But the one consistent parental role in our lives has been Ezra's Hands. My dad and stepmom bailed. Obviously I don't have a mom that's safe to have in our lives. We've had mentors be with us just for a season, but the the consistency of Ezra's Hands has been very rare in
I don't think
our
there's any.
lives.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other organization like Ezra's Hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would argue no, truthfully.
Yeah.
And just speaking into the messiness of kinship. So kinship care and foster care are very separate things
Yeah.
that I don't think people totally understand. So kinship care is when a caretaker is a relative of the children placed in foster care. And a lot has changed over the years. It used to be kind of like you just get all these kids at your doorstep. That's how I started, was overnight, got my brothers, and was a parent at 22, fresh out of college with dreams of my own. I remember walking through Barnes and Nobles with potty training books, how to talk to your teens so your teens will listen. I had like 50 books about parenting, and just walking by like all the grad school test preps, and knowing like my whole world was changing overnight. All my dreams have changed from, getting my master's in social work or poetry or whatever. I had millions of different dreams at 22, like most do, into I want to be the best mom I can be. And my brother, who was 12 at the time, actually, we were driving in the car one day and just talking, and he was like, "You know what? You're my mister." And I was like, "What's a mister?" And he said, "You're my mom's sister." And so that phrase has kind of carried through anytime we meet. Siblings taking care of siblings, which is a whole, on top of kinship care, siblings caring for siblings is a whole other chapter of kinship care that faces its own challenges. We don't have parents that we can go to. Like, I cannot stress that enough. And I don't think that hit me until I had my own biological baby. Not even my first, but my second was like, man, this is really hard to do without a mom. And even, we have 4 now, and every day, like, I wish I had a mom. And I never will, and that's okay. But to have the support of Ezra's Hands, and to know when our son specifically, who's my biological half-brother, has hard times, I know I can text the founder of Ezra's Hands and get the support I need. If it's therapy, if it's just a voice of reason, I always know that she's there, and she's never made us feel like we're less than because we get caught up in the chaos of our days. Like, our days are not easy, and our days are not simple, and we've made a lot of choices, even in our own trauma, of survival, like moves and job changes, and we're just trying to survive. And there's people that when people come from a place of privilege, they don't understand how your brain's impacted by trauma. And when we've made these choices that are from a place of striving and trauma, sometimes they don't work out the way that we would wish. But Ezra's Hands has always been this like safety net of support, which really is what a parent is supposed to be. So
I know Ezra's Hands can move mountains, can change communities, and can impact, I'd say impact generations because of how Ezra's Hands works. And so if you have any time, if you have any funds, just give it to Ezra's Hands. I'm just really pushing that because of how much they have impacted us, how much they're impacting families that we know. We just can't speak enough of Ezra's Hands' good works.
that's all I got.
Yeah, it sounds like the big difference is like you guys feel known by them. Like the consistency
Yeah.
that they've shown is like they know you. It's not like they're just gonna help for a season. It's like they're gonna.
Yeah, they know us by name. They know our kids. That's special. We're not just a number. We're not just
Yeah.
we're
A
not
case-
just
a
yeah
case number.
a case. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's beautiful, guys.
We're so
Thank
grateful.
you so much.
Hello.
Everybody loves a baby.
hello.
Last time we did this with Cedar, he pooped on the camera.